So what are we going to learn today is about design thinking, lean startup, prototyping, iteration, and UX research. Okay. So this is what we are going to talk about. So how many of you know about design thinking?
I think I know a bit about it. Like whenever we are basically designing any product for that matter, it should be more towards the customer-centric approach rather than following what is documented. I mean, like most of us comes from engineering background, so we have that mindset, so we are engineered that way, we are conditioned that way. So rather than using that mindset, it should be customer centric, is what I think about it.
Yeah, that's true. So let's try to understand this part, uh, a user-centered, iterative approach to problem solving. Okay. So this is the simplest way we can explain what is design thinking. Okay. If you see design thinking, right? Design thinking is a philosophy. Okay. So, and there are many tools which help you to do think uh, as a designer. Okay. So the first tool could be like there is a five-step model where you empathize and where you define the problem and all that. Okay. And the second one will be somewhere like double diamond. Okay, that's also a tool which is used. And design thinking can also be done through there is something called as the Google's design sprints. Okay, so basically everything boils down to the same thing. First thing, you understand the context and you understand the customer, and then you come up with kind of insights and all that, and then you try to define the actual problem that you are trying to solve, and then you move ahead and do a prototype and test in the test phase, and then you come up with a solution. Okay, so let's look into design thinking from Google's perspective, right? How design thinking done in Google? So Google design sprints. So let's try to understand this. So if you see this, right, so this is how Google follows, right, and this is called as design sprints, where you are going to have understand, define, sketch, decide, prototype, validate. Okay, so this is a way of this is also a way of doing it. Okay, so you can have so what's understand? Okay, so in the understanding phase, you will create shared knowledge base across all participants using the lightning talk method. Knowledge experts across the business are invited to articulate the problem space from business, user, competitor, and technology. So this is about understanding the context. Like what happens in general, right? So when you're doing brainstorming, right, you ask everybody to come and into a room and you tell like, okay, give us ideas, give us ideas. Where will the ideas come from when they don't know the context? Right? And the ideas which are coming are not good because they don't know the context, right? So basically, first thing is you should give the entire context, give time to understand the context, right? You should understand the problem. What is that? What is the objective of this program and all that, right? So that is where this kind of this is the phase where you understand the problem well. Okay. So that is where that is the first thing, and then you go ahead and define. In define phase, the team evaluates everything they learned in the understanding phase to establish focus. This is done by defining specific context and desired outcomes of potential solutions. Okay, the phase concludes by choosing a specific focus for your sprint as well as goals, success metrics, and signals. Okay, this is how maybe I can actually make it little bigger. Yeah. So this is the second phase where you define. Okay, so where you try to understand, try to you now know that what exactly needs to be solved, right? So you have a focus point. So earlier you have a bigger problem, and now you have a focus point. What needs to be addressed? Okay, so then you go to sketch. In the sketch phase, you design the sprint team generates a shared board range of ideas. Okay, individuals. you will start by looking for inspiration, such as solutions, alternative spaces. Then use design sprint, but participant will individually generate ideas for consideration. From there, the team will narrow down ideas as a group to single, right, well articulated solution sketch per person, right. So that is what we are going to do in this method. Okay. So, and the fourth thing is about decide. So then we come together and then we decide, right? What is the good thing to do? Right? Design sprint finalizes the direction or concept to be prototyped. Each participant will share their sketch, and the team will find consensus on a single idea through decision-making exercises. The final direction will aim to address the design sprint focus. Okay. And then you prototype and then you validate. Right. So this is about how the Google does it. And luckily, I was part of one of the design sprints, which happened in Netherlands. And it was about the the product I was building, which is called as Autopilot. So this was a product I was building, and I was part of this design sprint where we sat down for 2 days. So this is like first like it can be 3 days or 4 days program where it goes in a linear way. Okay. So or if you want to do it in 2 days, what you can do is you can break first half day to understand the problem and all that, and the second half day to go into define phase, and then third half day you go on sketching mode, and then you fourth half day you go into decide mode, right. So that goes on linear way. Okay. And then there needs to be a coordinator. There will be a coordinator who is required to time check, to uh, to keep people focused, right? What they are doing and how they are doing, right? So because the moment you put a lot of people and ask them to do an unknown thing, right? So then they'll be keep on talking for a long time without any outcome, right? Bringing an outcome is very much required. For that, you need a manager, a program manager or a scrum master for this activity, where they keep a check on time and they keep a check on activities and how it is happening, so that everything, so that those 2 days is actually giving you a fruitful outcome. Otherwise, what will happen? It will go on forever and there will be no outcomes. Okay. So is this clearly understood? Uh,
Yes.
Is it? Yeah. Maybe you can go through this link and you can read through it. Okay, it will give a lot of information for you. So yeah, yes, Sandy. Okay, so first thing is you have a problem or a challenge, right? So that is where you start a design sprint. Okay, to address that problem. Suppose if I may tell you an example. Uh, I have a product called as Intense Pulse Light, where every 15 days somebody has to operate that device onto their skin, right? So to reduce the hair growth. Okay, so that is the product, and we have seen a problem that okay, a lot of people are missing their schedule, and it is creating a negative remark. Okay, this is a problem. Okay, so then we need to go ahead and we need to understand that, right? So that is a problem statement that you have. People are missing their scheduled activity. Okay, that's a problem that they have. So now you call for a design sprint where you conduct it like a workshop and you give this problem and you ask people to innovate, right? You ask people to come up with various ideas, and then you try each idea and then you bring in consensus and then like that, right? So it's before PRD. It's definitely before PRD.
And who is this design sprint? Who is the audience for this?
Okay, that's a very good question. So you need representation from all the teams. So when I was doing design sprint, there was a product owner, there was a product manager, there was project manager, and there was designers. And I participated as a technical guy who is helping them to tell whether it is feasible or not. Okay, so that's my role. And you need to have one representation from each field. And also there was a business head. Okay, so everybody like a business head, and they will give the context and subject matter experts. So you need to have one representation from each discipline so that you don't miss out on certain things. When you are flying, right, you'll be grounded because they have better knowledge in that discipline. Yeah, so because they will tell like this is feasible or not feasible, or this is doable or not doable, right? Otherwise, you will be doing some prototype which is truly not realistic. So that's why
Okay.
you need to have one person from each domain.
I just got a little confused with the last statement. So you said it is before PRD we usually do the design thinking.
Yeah.
Correct me. Yeah. So in this scenario, if we are trying to solve a problem, it's compulsory to do a design sprint each and every time, or it's not mandatory.
See, you're trying to come up with a solution, right? And the solution has to be communicated to engineering team to implement. Okay. Now, this solution, you can simply sit at a place and you imagine something and you write a PRD. That's one way of doing it. Or what you can do is you can take a design thinking approach and you can call for workshop and you can actually come up with ideas, and then you go into prototype stage, and then you the outcome whichever comes from the prototype, that then you explain to engineering team. So it is up to you. You feel like I know everything and it's a very simple process or simple thing. You sit and create the PRD. Okay, but if you feel like it's a complex thing and we don't know things and there are multiple disciplines are there, so then you conduct a design sprint. Okay, it's if it is a simple button change that you are aware of, you don't need design sprint, right? So, but if you are building an app or revamping an app or something like that, so then you need design sprint. Okay, or you are actually addressing a complex problem, right? So then you need a design sprint. The design sprint which we did was why it was done was it's about the outcome that we were expecting was giving an experience which is where user can um, use that product effectively. So the problem with that is there is something called calibration. Okay, so calibration is a painful thing which needs to be done by user, and that is the most important thing. Otherwise, your haircut will go in different directions. Okay, so basically, I was working on the hair clipper where it automatically adjusts based on the haircut that you have chosen, right? So for that, the most important thing is the hair positioning, right? Where is the head and what shape it has and all that, right? So for that, the calibration is very much required. So if somebody goes wrong there, everything goes wrong, right? So that has to be really super friendly and easy to do, right? So these are the two major tasks that we had in hand, that how we can prepare a UI that is super friendly and no scope for mistake. Okay, so easy to use and no scope for mistake. How can we give continuous feedback to user so that what he is doing is right? Like how can we help them understand, right? That is what we have done. So that is a bit complex thing, right? But if you think about changing a screen and having XYZ factor, right? So that is not that every time you don't need a design sprints. Okay. But if at all you have like a moderately complex thing also, if you don't know something, pull in people and do it. This is one way of doing it. As I told you, right? Design thinking philosophy is about understanding and then defining the problem, exact problem that you are trying to solve, and then you come up with a solution, prototype, and then you test it before even you build it. Okay. So that is what is about design thinking. Okay.